This one was on my list to watch for a while, and I wanted to make sure I reviewed it now, before I run out of time. Time to Hunt takes place in a dystopian South Korea and focuses on three friends who are hit hard by a major financial crisis that will leave them in ruins. So they coordinate a heist of a gambling house and plan to escape South Korea and go on to live more prosperous lives. However, things become much more complicated when the gambling house's owners hire a vicious contract killer to track them down. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here and you like movies, whether it be blockbusters, hidden gems, or everything in between, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with reviews of new releases and some classics. Today, let's talk about Time to Hunt. This was actually released on Netflix back in April after its theatrical release being cancelled due to the pandemic. And it was recommended to me, but I put it off for some time until I finally got around to watching it the other day. And despite being a few months behind, I figured, hey, a lot of us are still in quarantine, we could all still use something new to watch on Netflix, right? I apologize in advance if I get any of these names wrong, I'm going to try my best. But this was directed by Yoon Sung-hyun, who only directed one other film before this called Bleak Night in 2011, which I haven't seen, but it earned a lot of rave reviews. The main actor here, Lee Ji-hoon, also starred in that. And one of the main trio, Choi Woo-sik, was also in Parasite. He was the son in the Kim family there. He is a great actor, and he does a fine job here as well, as did all the actors. The performances are a big part of what makes this film so enjoyable to watch. When we first meet our main trio, we can immediately pick up the sense of camaraderie they all have. They're all at a bar, they're laughing, they're catching up. We find out Lee Ji-hoon's character was in prison and they're reflecting on their past. Their chemistry felt very natural and they played off each other very well. I will say there's a sense of familiarity when it comes to setting them up. Lee Ji-hoon is the one with the most developed backstory of the three, mainly because of his prison background, but otherwise they're all down on their luck and this is supposed to be their last big job, so they never have to do this again. I mean, how many times have we heard that in a movie before? It's pretty standard stuff by this point. But all three actors are very charismatic and give solid performances, and we're able to get invested in them pretty quickly. For the first 20 or 30 minutes, there's not much to this movie other than just the friends getting everything they need together. They recruit someone who actually works in the gambling house, as well as procure guns from someone Lee Ji-hoon knew in prison, but it picks up exponentially once they get into the actual heist, and that entire sequence is expertly shot. The music's very energetic, it moves at a rapid fire pace, and it gets your heart racing early. And from there, it turns into this cat and mouse chase once the contract killer, Han, played by Park Hae-soo, enters the scene. And even though it's not a horror movie, it definitely gives off horror movie vibes at times, especially whenever he's around. This guy reminds me of both the Terminator as well as Anton Chigurh from No Country for Old Men. He has a one-track mind. He gets paid to get back the money and take these guys out, and he doesn't compromise on any of that. In their first run-in with him, they try to bribe him, but he doubles down that nothing they can do can get them out of it, and they barely escape him. It was one of my favorite scenes in the movie for just how tense it was. While I wouldn't call him the most layered character either, he plays up that unstoppable evil archetype that both the Terminator and Chigurh embodied. And Park Hae-soo's performance is just incredibly menacing. He doesn't play it too monotone, which is something seen way too often when someone tries to portray a more cold-blooded character, and you can tell just how major of a threat he is whenever he crosses paths with anyone who's even remotely associated with our main three characters. Like, he just gave the movie this very chilling feel. Plus, all the action scenes are done exceptionally well. It's almost all shootout sequences and car chase scenes, but they're all actually pretty bloody. This movie doesn't shy away when it comes to any of that. And once we get past the initial heist scene, which is the first really big moment, and Han is introduced, the movie does a great job of building them up in terms of scale. Each action scene just feels more intense than the last until we get to this very high energy showdown at the end. If you're an action fan, you definitely won't be disappointed here. It's also shot really well. It does a great job capturing the bleak and hopeless feel we see in dystopian thrillers. The color palette tends to be dark. We'll get these orange, yellowish tints. There's a grainy feel to it. Every so often it feels like I couldn't totally make out certain images, but for the most part the cinematography was great. I'll say though, while it does look nice and has a lot of very well done action scenes, one of my major complaints was that it does feel a bit too long. It's a 2-hour and 15-minute movie, and there's a lull after that first hour. We get things like these trippy dream sequences and some moments where it takes a moment to breathe and goes on for a bit too long, and it definitely throws off the pacing at some points. It's a mostly fast-paced crime thriller with a lot of great action scenes and moments of showing the tight-knit bond between these characters, but after the hour mark, it slows down at times and it drags things out longer than they should have. It definitely could have cut a few things out in the middle to keep things moving quicker. Overall, I enjoy this. It's not the most original story out there, and its characters aren't exactly the most unique, but it still has plenty to offer to make a fun experience. It's shot incredibly well, and it has some solid performances from the entire cast, all of whom have excellent chemistry with one another, and outside of some slow moments in the second half, it's pretty fast-paced and has a very high energy about it, with some fun action scenes that should easily satisfy fans of the genre. It's on Netflix, give it a shot if you can. Time to Hunt gets a 7.5 out of 10. Meanwhile, if you like Christopher Nolan's movies, I'll have the next part of my series out very soon. I'll be talking about Inception. Should be fun. Plus, I'll have more 2020 reviews coming your way soon. So let me know, did you see Time to Hunt, or are you planning to see it, and what were your thoughts? Did you like the action? Did you enjoy the story? And what's one of your favorite dystopian set movies? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please like it and share it, and for more movie reviews and film discussion, please make sure to hit that subscribe button to stay updated. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'll catch you next time.